Today's video, I wanted to talk about digestive health. You guys know that I'm really passionate about digestion. If you watch my videos, you'll have heard me talk about it a fair few times. I probably mention it in every single video, how important digestion is. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about how I healed my gut naturally from years and years of chronic digestive issues. If you guys are new here, my name is Anna. I am a 37-year-old mom of 4, and I am just about to start my second year in nutrition school. So I just went back to school last year to study nutritional medicine, and it has been a journey, let me tell you. 6 years ago, I had a crappy relationship with food and body image. I managed to heal completely from that. And I never thought in a million years that I would be able to embark on something like studying nutrition, because I always just thought it would be too triggering for me. And I'm so grateful every single day that I get to do this, because I know what it's like to go through it all. From years of chronic dieting, I struggled with an ED. I was all over the place with my food and my nutrition, and my knowledge was very limited at that time. At that same time, my digestion was at an all-time low. I was struggling so horrifically with gastroparesis, which, if you don't know, is where your stomach muscles basically are paralyzed and nothing is moving. My gut was basically a mess. I was chronically stressed all the time as well. I was basically in fight or flight mode. I just didn't know it. Now, 6 years later, just to give you guys some hope, my digestion has never been better. I hardly ever bloat anymore, and if I do, it is nothing compared to what I used to. I'm able to enjoy pizza night once a week without any fear, and I actually enjoy my food and I enjoy eating. So I want to share with you guys exactly how I got here and what I wish I would have known sooner. The real struggle started, like I said, 6 years ago when I started my recovery, and my body was trying to learn how to digest food again after having struggled with an ED. So everything was kind of jumbled around. I had chronic bloating to the point where sometimes it really did look like I was 6 months pregnant, and I would not be surprised if somebody had guessed that I was, because I could go from looking really slim and skinny in the morning to eating a meal, and for whatever reason it would trigger something and this bloating would flare up and I would look like a different person after that meal. I had also self-diagnosed myself with gluten intolerance, dairy intolerance, all kinds of things that I tried to cut out. I tried to cut out all different food groups. But in the process of doing this, I was just stressing myself out more and more about food. This was making food more so the enemy than it already was. At my worst, I had chronic constipation, gastroparesis, and I had this crazy fear of all of these different food groups. I know firsthand how lonely gut issues can feel. You feel like you're the only one, you feel like you're struggling, like nobody understands you, and I honestly get it. It impacts your social life, your confidence. I remember not wanting to wear anything that was tight around the middle, not because I was conscious of my weight, but more so because I knew if I bloated, I would look pregnant. And I was afraid of people asking me if I was pregnant. The biggest shift for me came when I stopped fearing food. That was honestly the huge shift and the huge difference between me before and me after. I know I talk about it all the time, like mental over physical, but honestly, this is the real thing that healed my gut issues. I began reintroducing gluten and dairy, not all at once, but slowly, so that my body could adapt. I stopped chasing this idea of perfection when it came to eating, which I think can be really damaging no matter where you are on the spectrum. There is no such thing as perfect eating. It doesn't exist. I actually quit any kind of strenuous exercise for about 3 months. I wanted to give my body a full reset and a full break. You do you and do what suits your body best. But at that time I was doing HIIT training, and as much as I love HIIT, it was just stressing my body out too much, and the more I was doing, I felt like the more inflamed I was getting. So I quit for 3 months, and instead I focused on lower impact things like walking. Then as I progressed throughout my recovery, I introduced some light strength training and kind of went from there. But I was really gentle with myself, and most importantly, I just gave myself time and space to heal. I also learned that stress is actually one of the hugest gut disruptors, and this is something that we cover a lot in nutrition school as well. It is so key. Like, you wouldn't believe how much stress can affect your digestive system. And it's been proven again and again and again, like things show up physically when they actually stem from the brain or your nervous system. As far as what I do now, 6 years later, to really help my digestive system. So one thing that I have been loving is apple cider vinegar and lemon water in the morning. I just feel like this is always something that will get my gut moving. I have never been super regular. Sorry if that's TMI, but it's true. I've never been super regular. My husband is a complete opposite. Like, he can just go. He goes like multiple times. I'm always jealous of him because he's the opposite of me. So he doesn't have my problem. It just goes to show that everybody is different. But so if I'm not on top of things, like with my drinking water and my apple cider vinegar and my lemon, I will not be very regular. So this is just something that really helps me. Of course, it's not going to be for everybody. I can't stress that enough. Every time I share my apple cider vinegar and my lemon water, I get like 100 questions from people saying, you know, I tried this and it didn't work for me. And that is fine. I feel like the golden rule in nutrition is that everybody is different. So just because somebody that you follow does something doesn't mean it's going to work for you. This is just what works for me. I also incorporate daily walking. So I walk every single day, and I don't do this for like a calorie burn or anything like that. It's more honestly for my mood, my digestion, for blood sugar balancing. It's so good for you. It's low impact. It doesn't stress your body out. And I just love walking to just clear my head and get that time to myself. I actually crave it every day. Like, I crave that time, and it's when I map out my day, and it's when I kind of plan my day and brainstorm ideas. And it's really just become self-care for me. Balanced exercise is also something that has been key. So I have been more so incorporating strength training now, and I only do 3 strength training sessions a week. I don't ever overdo it with exercise. I don't burn out with like high intensity exercise anymore. I just try to keep things a little bit more balanced. So I do my strength training 3 times a week. I do my walks daily, and that's it. Another top one is mindful eating. And I was so guilty of this. And still, I think as a mom of 4, it's something that I struggle with sometimes, depending on what's going on. Like, if I'm by myself, I'm really good at mindful eating. But if I'm in the chaos of, say, dinner time, that's usually the most stressful one. And, you know, there's dogs barking, and there's kids fighting and arguing, and somebody is tugging at you for one thing, and then somebody needs something else done, and someone hasn't done their homework, and your husband's trying to talk to you at the same time. It's just like, ah. So during those times, I definitely still struggle with this, but I really try to slow down, chew my food, breathe, and not eat so fast. Because before, I would be so stressed out, especially having babies all close together. You have to eat as quickly as possible because you know that you're going to be needed in about 5 minutes. They're going to need you for something else, or you're going to have to move on to the next task. But that's actually really unhealthy, and it's something that I am working on for sure, but I've got a lot better at. Another thing I do now, 6 years on after healing my relationship with food, which is key. Remember that one, okay? Because you don't want to do this too early on. I don't really eat sugar. So I cut out processed sugar in end of December, start of the year, this year. And I have never looked back. Like, my skin has never been better. It's a whole thing. You can watch my video on that if you want to know more. But I really eat mainly whole foods. Mainly. Having said that, I'm not really strict and rigid with it either, though, because that's something else that can cause stress, and I definitely don't want to do that. So I do it in a very balanced way. I pretty much eat healthy whole foods, I would say 80 to 90% of the time, and then I leave some room for enjoyment. If I want to, I will eat, sugar, or I'll eat gluten, or I'll eat dairy. I try to stay away from dairy because it breaks my skin out, which is so annoying because I love dairy products. And as I've got older, I've cared more and more about my skin. Whereas in my 20s, I didn't really care as much, and I was breaking out all the time. So it definitely shows. So I am balanced, and I try to eat mainly healthy foods because at the end of the day, they make me feel better. They make my skin look better. They make me look better, I think. And also my sleep is better. It's just what makes me feel better overall. But at the same time, we're all human and we all want to have some fun. So I still leave space and leave room for fun foods whenever I feel like it, or whenever it's the right occasion, or if I really, really want it. I don't deny myself something. And then the last thing is prioritizing my mental health. I genuinely believe that my gut health healed because I was able to heal myself from the inside out. I think because I'm no longer in fight or flight and I'm not in that restrict binge cycle, my body just trusts me now and it's not under chronic stress all the time. The things that I wish I knew are that cutting out food groups willy-nilly is probably not a good idea. It's probably just gonna stress your body out more. And sometimes it can do more harm than good. That's why I'm not a huge fan of when people cut out entire food groups or do like really strict elimination diets. Of course, there's a time and a place for them, but I do think that overall, a lot of it starts up here. Stress management is as important as what's on your plate. So going back to what I just said, a lot of times it's not even so much about the food, it's more so about your mental state and how stressed out you are, because that really does affect you. And it's been proven that chronic stress and your cortisol levels spiking can lead to things like belly fat. So it all goes to show that, like I said before, mental and physical is so connected. Another thing that's so important to note is that consistency always beats perfection every single time. Like I said, there's no such thing as perfect eating. I don't even really like the term clean eating because it implies that the other style of eating is dirty, which is bad. And I don't think that we should be putting labels like good or bad, clean and dirty on food. Food is just food. Like there's food that's healthier for you and there's food that's unhealthier for you, but they're not good or bad. You can make small sustainable habit changes that can really help to heal your gut. And they don't have to be drastic. They can be really, really tiny. Also, you don't have to be scared of occasional treats or trigger foods once you've healed, because your body is so much more resilient than you think. And I truly believe that once you fix the mental part of it and the emotional side, the physical just kind of falls into place. Also, fun fact, the more whole foods you eat in their natural form, or as close to their natural form as possible, the more your body craves that kind of food and the more it wants to eat that way. And the less it craves things like sugar or things that are not so great for your body. So like when I cut out processed sugar, the further I got in my journey, the less I craved it and the more my body craved just natural whole foods. I felt like honestly as time progressed, the easier and easier it got to just not have sugar. I hope this video will help you guys if you're going through your own gut issues right now, and hopefully my story will encourage you a little bit. Your body wants to heal and it wants to be in balance. So with the right mix of nourishment, gentle movement, and kindness, it definitely will. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I upload 2 times a week and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.